So let's start with the COA versus Part 107. So what we're going to do now is just talk a little bit about COA's pros and cons, and then we're going to go over Part 107, its pros and cons, just to give you an idea of the different ways that your department could fly under these operations, under UAS operations. So COA. COA stands for the Certificate of Authorization. So the FAA is given this to public aircraft operations only. So it has to be within the public space. What that means is it can be the government, the federal government, it can be the state governments, or a subsidiary of that. So that leads us into why I have to have a certificate or a memorandum. That's why I got to have a memorandum from the county, the city attorney, or whichever attorney is directly related to your entity. I have to have that in order to say, yes, this is a public aircraft operation. So that's why certificate of authorization it's specifically for public. The reliability and responsibility falls on the agency. So what that means, what I'm trying to say there is this certificate of authorization is approval to have a program at the department level. So if you're a fire department, then the fire department owns this certificate. It is their certificate. It is not a individual pilot's. So as your pilot leaves, their certificate stays within the department, and how the SOP works stays within that department. This allows the department to also self-certify pilots in their training standards. So your project manager can say yes or no, this pilot is trained, certified to be a pilot in command. That's different from how we're going to operate in a Part 107. So this allows the department to say, here's our training mechanisms. We're going to have a one-day ground school that understands different classifications of airspace and maybe some flight time, and then we consider that person trained to be a pilot in command, and you approve that in-house according to your SOP that you turned into the FAA, and then that's how you will train and certify your pilots. And then the documents, policies, and procedures established by the department, those are all SOPs that will be put into a packet and sent up to the FAA to get certified. And those certifications will be alongside your COA in a book. And then that is what potentially they could ask for if you get inspected. So all of those come into play. And then there's actually three types. The two types here is the blanket and standard / jurisdictional. What that means is the blanket that gives you Class G authorization, as well as the ability to fly at night with certain training. And then the standard jurisdictional, that is getting approval by your local airspace authority to fly within that classified airspace. So if you have a Class E or B or something like that within your operational area, your jurisdiction over your city, then you're going to have a standard or jurisdictional in order to get yourself certified in that, certified to fly in that airspace. And then the third one that we're going to talk about is emergency COAs that we'll get into later.